What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back in the hellhole that is the UK right now. I swear down, we're on our 5th heatwave right now, and I feel like the Fiend when he was on fire. Anyway, let's get through the news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Bloodline fatigue has hit an all-time high, Chris Jericho's embarrassing botch, TKO is getting worse, Triple H has wrestlers worried right now, CM Punk's beef with RYBACK is over, as Nikki Bella hinted at leaving, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on a new Facebook page. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Now first we looks at Bloodline fatigue has hit an all-time high. While a heartwarming clip of Zilla Fatu's mother, brother and friends celebrating his WWE arrival captured the excitement surrounding his signing, the reaction from some fans has been far more divided. Following the 11th August episode of NXT, social media quickly filled with criticism over WWE bringing in another member of the legendary Samoan wrestling family into the company. One frustrated fan admitted that they would have welcomed Fatu's arrival a year ago, but now fears that WWE could spend years recycling the same family storyline. A year ago I would have been excited, now all I see is the Bloodline shit going another 5 years, which is horrible because I know he's talented. I'm just sick of the same shit and an entire corporation centered around one family with the same recycled story. Another fan questioned Fatu's presentation, sarcastically writing, "Gee, a Samoan drop, splash and a Superman punch? Yeah, you're under contract." Others wondered how many wrestlers connected to the Bloodline WWE plans to feature, while another fan bluntly summed up the frustration saying, WWE is turning into Samoan Island entertainment. Now while fan reaction is focused heavily on WWE's history with the Samoan dynasty, Fatu's immediate path may actually be looking very different from another Bloodline storyline. According to False Finish, NXT was always expected to be Fatu's starting point following a developmental path similar to Solo Sikoa. Solo spent time in NXT before reaching the main roster in 2022 and eventually becoming a major figure within Roman Reigns' bloodline. That gives Fatu an opportunity to establish himself before WWE decides whether his future will ultimately connect back to the Bloodline. For now, he has a chance to show fans what he can do on his own and prove that his WWE journey doesn't have to be defined solely by his family name. Next up, Chris Jericho's embarrassing botch. Now, what was supposed to be a straightforward interference spot during Chris Jericho's TNT Championship match with Kevin Knight quickly became one of the most talked about moments from last night's Dynamite. Jericho had Knight trapped in the walls of Jericho when Don Callis was supposed to create an opening with a screwdriver. However, Callis initially appeared to be out of position, forcing Jericho to move towards the ropes while still maintaining the submission. It created a bit of a bizarre visual. Instead of Callis naturally moving into position, Jericho essentially walked himself across the ring with Knight still caught in the walls, and then they did the spot. How can two guys with more than 20 years in the business end up botching such a basic spot? However, the bigger problem may have actually been the AEW camera crew and production director. The camera stayed squarely on Jericho as he repositioned himself instead of cutting away for a moment, and you could see Jericho was literally talking the spot with Don Callis. A simple 2-second cut to the crowd could have hidden the entire setup and allowed the sequence to play out naturally, well, at least on television. By the time Callis finally reached the apron and delivered the screwdriver shot, viewers had already seen how exactly this spot was being arranged. Yes, wrestling is choreographed, but we don't need to see it set up inside the ring. Wouldn't it have been more simple for Jericho to just come out of the walls of Jericho, go over to Don Callis, and then get hit? Would have had the same effect, right? Next up, Finn Balor gets trolled live. Finn Balor came dangerously close to giving fans a viral moment when he appeared on Nina Drama's channel during a recent Zuffa boxing event in Ireland. The WWE star was reading comments when a not so suitable for work message suddenly appeared on screen, asking Finn who's got the biggest meat on the WWE roster. Balor started reading the comment before realizing where it was heading and quickly stopped himself. And Nina Drama also had to step in saying, "Don't read it all out loud." And that's probably for the best. Had Balor finished reading the comment during the live stream, there's little doubt that the clip would have quickly spread across social media and become an instant viral moment. But what's that username? Big Fat Forehead? That was definitely JD McDonough. Next up, TKO is getting worse. The WWE's latest celebrity announcement has once again exposed a growing divide between the company and some of its longtime fans. WWE announced on X that comedian Matt Matthews would be appearing on the 7th September episode of Raw. While WWE clearly sees value in bringing outside personalities into its programming, some fans immediately questioned why someone they barely recognized was being given attention on WWE television. And judging by the reaction online, the confusion quickly spread with comments of, "Who? Another fan sarcastically suggested viewers would have little reason to tune in just to see a celebrity standing in the crowd waving for 5 seconds. They ain't wrong. Now, obviously, the frustration isn't necessarily about Matthews personally. Instead, it's part of a much larger concern over WWE's increasing reliance on celebrity appearances. Over the past few years, WWE has featured personalities including Lil Yachty, Jelly Roll, and Travis Scott, among many others. They even had Kickstream and Neon make an appearance. Those appearances can certainly introduce WWE to audiences who might not normally watch wrestling, but some longtime fans believe that there needs to be a better balance. There's concern that WWE could be dedicating valuable TV time to outside celebrities, while members of its own roster continue competing for limited exposure. Next up, the New Day's first booking. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods' latest booking fuels AEW speculation. Kingston and Woods still haven't revealed what's next after their WWE run, but their latest booking is certainly going to keep the AEW speculation alive. The former New Day members are officially joining Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, with Jericho announcing that the duo, now being promoted individually as Kofi and Austin Creed, will make their cruise debut. The event sails from Miami to the Bahamas from November 7th through November 11th, and Jericho is clearly leaning into the personalities fans have known for years. Hello cruisers, it's a brand new day and we're beyond excited to announce that Kofi and Austin Creed are making their Jericho Cruise debut. Get ready for unicorns, trombones, gaming, pancakes, and so much more, as two of the most entertaining personalities in the biz bring the party. Now, Kofi and Woods have already completed their 90-day non-compete periods, and the pair recently released a well-received animated video while continuing to tease whatever comes next. With AEW reportedly mentioned as a potential destination, appearing at an event hosted by one of the company's biggest stars is naturally going to fuel even more speculation. However, this booking does not confirm an AEW deal. Jericho's Cruise isn't exclusively an AEW event, and performers from outside the promotion have appeared on previous editions. Still, with fans waiting to find out where Kofi and Woods go next, the latest connection is certainly going to keep the AEW conversation alive. Next up, Triple H has wrestlers worried. And now Triple H's post-SummerSlam message was meant to push WWE's roster to fight harder for their opportunities, but according to Coachman, it may have created even more anxiety backstage. Speaking on the Coach and Bro show, it was claimed that they heard from WWE wrestlers they are increasingly frustrated about where they currently stand. The issue centers on Triple H's belief that main event opportunities aren't guaranteed simply because someone has spent years with WWE. With stars like Roman Reigns, Rhodes, CM Punk already established at the top, Triple H's message was that anyone hoping to take their place has to become more over with the WWE audience than the stars currently occupying those positions. Coachman understands that philosophy, but he questioned how it sounds to wrestlers who believe that they already put in the work.
Which is why we're getting contacted, which is why we're hearing wrestlers that are backstage are so frustrated, Vince, because time did this. So when they hear Triple H sitting up on a podium after SummerSlam and get asked a question, and he goes, well, you got to work harder then. I like it because you've got to work harder. Can you imagine telling some of these guys that have been around for 10 plus years, work harder, when they can look at all these guys on this list and be like, but wait a second, I'm working just as hard as they are, but you're giving them the opportunity.
He believes that uncertainty is creating genuine paranoia throughout the locker room.
The other thing is also, that is real stuff that's going on backstage with all these guys. Everybody's paranoid. Everybody is scared of their spot, especially right now. Right now, when you're like, man, if I don't get on TV or if I don't do something great, then I might be getting a call from upstairs saying, listen, you haven't been on TV in a minute. You haven't done anything in a minute. So to me, you're also describing something, Vince, that is very real backstage right now.
And that's ultimately why Coachman believes Triple H's message could have the opposite effect with what was intended. While Triple H may be challenging WWE talent to work harder and become undeniable, Coachman's claim suggests that some wrestlers are hearing that message as a warning that their television time, position, and potentially their future with WWE are never guaranteed. Next up, CM Punk's beef with RYBACK is over. The long-running grudge between CM Punk and RYBACK is well documented, but RYBACK now insists that the bad blood is firmly in the past. Their issues began during their WWE run together when Punk accused RYBACK of working recklessly and blamed some of his actions for contributing to injuries. RYBACK later responded with repeated criticism of Punk, keeping the real-life tension alive for years. But in a recent video on Twitter, RYBACK made it clear that he has now moved on. CM Punk, is there any bad blood? No, I don't hold on to any hate with that man. I've said what I needed to say on it. He said what he said on it, and it doesn't make sense to hold on to that forever. That doesn't mean we'll ever be friends or work together. It doesn't serve me to hold on to that hate or that anger. RYBACK says that he still stands by his previous comments, but doesn't see a reason to keep revisiting the past. He even praised Punk's current appearance while explaining that he has chosen to let go of the negativity. I'm happy for him. I think Punk looks great and I'm happy for him. He's gone in better shape. I found in life, you'll hear me repeat this all the time. Happiness is a choice and hating is a choice. So while RYBACK doesn't expect a friendship or working relationship with Punk, the hostility that once defined their relationship now appears to be in the rearview mirror. Next up, Cody reveals his biggest regret. Cody Rhodes welcomed TNA's Santino Marella to his What Do You Want to Talk About podcast, where the two discussed the story behind his iconic American Nightmare neck tattoo. Marella recalled a comedian making a joke about Rhodes' tattoo during the roast to Ric Flair, saying if Vicky Guerrero was any uglier, she'd be on a tattoo on Cody Rhodes' neck. Now, according to Marella, Ric Flair became upset with the comedian over the joke, but when the conversation eventually turned toward the tattoo itself, Rhodes admitted that despite appreciating the artwork, he's never completely embraced the decision. I stand by the fact that I think the work is great and the artist is great, but I will also reveal, as I think I've revealed on this pod before, the neck tattoo I would consider the greatest regret of my life. Rhodes then made it clear despite those feelings, he has no intention of removing it. You know what, I'll live with it. I ain't trying to get it removed, and we're gonna rock this till the very end. He also explained just how dramatically seeing the finished tattoo affected him. When I saw it and it was in my jaw and it was so big, my life changed looking in a mirror. If my dad were to come back to life, he would not say congrats, he would lose his shit. You've ruined yourself. I'd say it's the greatest regret of my life, but it has some very beneficial elements of it. I don't know, it's complicated. The best way to put my relationship with the tattoo. So despite calling it his greatest regret, Cody has clearly accepted that the tattoo has become an inseparable part of the American Nightmare's identity. And finally, did Nikki Bella hint at leaving? Our final story of the day looks at Nikki Bella, who dropped a cryptic hint about a major decision she and Brie Bella were discussing during SummerSlam weekend. Speaking on the Nikki and Brie show, Nikki explained that the sisters had been weighing situations that weren't necessarily failing, but weren't working the way they wanted either. She also acknowledged that comfort and stability can make it difficult to walk away. But the most intriguing part came when Nikki specifically referenced SummerSlam weekend, revealing that she and Brie had been talking with other people about potentially taking different paths. But it's crazy because, you know, just even with Brie, SummerSlam weekend and talking to other people and well, we're supposed to go in this direction. We're supposed to go in that direction. You know, sometimes we've got to shut the doors and others will be open. We've got to let go of the things you fail at. And Nikki never clarified what those directions were, who they were speaking with, or what they were considering leaving behind. Well, and that lack of detail makes the comment so intriguing. What do you think she was referring to? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content. I'm about to jump in an ice bath.